You're going to take this over create spell jamming helm?
Yes, because if I need a spell jamming helm, I'm gonna go buy it. Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Plane Shift. I like it.
Thanks. This is a really girthy spell. Not as girthy as teleport, but like it's got some heft to it. It's a spell that I don't know if it should be in the base game, but it is. It's neat. It kind of tells a story as to where D&D is supposed to be. This is a 7th level spell with cast of an action, range of touch, rolls automatic material components. The material component requires a forked metal rod worth at least 250 gold attuned to a particular plane of existence. It doesn't consume it, notably.
Yes.
Duration doesn't
Just trying to
phase.
picture where, like, are there forked metal rod stores? Ooh, where did you get your forked metal rod? Cost me 250 gold.
I kind of wanted it to be like actual just forks, not just forked metal rods. Just like this is a fork from the plane of fire, and it still has like a bit of burned up, charred animal fat on it. That's like, yeah, that's where it's from. This
Okay.
spell says you and up to 8 willing creatures who link hands in a circle are transported to a different plane of existence. You specify a target destination in general terms, such as the city of Brass on the elemental plane of fire or the palace of Dispater on the 2nd level of the Nine Hells. And you appear in or near that destination. If you're trying to reach the city of Brass, for example, you might arrive in the street of Steel before its gate of ashes, or looking in the city across from the sea of fire at the GM's discretion. Alternatively, if you know the sigil of a sequence of a teleportation circle on another plane of existence, this spell can take you to that circle. If the teleportation circle is too small to hold all the creatures transported, they appear in the closest unoccupied space next to the circle, which I think is kind of weird in terms of magical world building. It's like the circle isn't where you teleport to. You can kind of teleport near the circle, but that's that's neither here
Well,
nor there.
I think it's also weird that, I mean, yes, I know this is called plane shift, but if it works in tandem with teleportation circles, I think you should be able to use a teleportation circle on the same plane as well.
Maybe. It also says you could use this spell to banish an unwilling creature to another plane. Choose a creature within reach and make a melee spell attack against it. On a hit, the creature makes a charisma saving throw. So we've now 2 steps in. You made an attack roll and hit it, and then it makes a saving throw. And if the creature fails the saving throw, it is transported to a random location on the plane of existence you specify. A creature so transported must find its own way back to your plane of existence. And that does this forever. It's
Yeah,
just there now. There's no duration. It's not like a banishment where it pops back. If you hit and it fails, it's gone. That's awesome.
that's,
Very high
I mean,
risk.
I still don't fully understand planes, but if they're like you describe as planets, that's so crazy. Like, imagine getting transported to a random place on Earth. I mean, you're probably in the ocean. If not, you're somewhere in the middle of Asia. Like you're not in good shape. I mean,
No, I
nothing
like to
against
extrapolate.
Asia, but if I'm going to have a hard time getting home from there without a passport or
Likely, you're dying to the conditions, and if you're not dying to the conditions, you're likely in a place where you don't speak the language and have no idea what the culture is like. Um, or you're just like in the Gobi Desert or
yeah,
Antarctica. And going into D&D worlds, realms of existence are much more hostile than Earth. Hell, as an example, has much more vacant, torturous terrain than oceans. So, chances of whatever you're teleporting away living, very low. So, that's fun. Now, I think this spell is done a little bit dirty by that teleport gets a really cool minigame of determining where things go.
hmm
And this doesn't get that fun minigame. The DM just gets to pick all the fun stuff about it. I think this could have been used. This could have used an extra 4 paragraphs of minigames and some tables.
maybe.
I like that. I like the variance of I will be somewhere near where I want to go or not. I think all that can be fun, but that's not what it is. It doesn't make the actual transit much simpler. I don't know, Bob. Have you ever played a game that has included plane shift?
No, I've never played up to that high level, and
Mhm.
I generally just we don't go plane hopping at the tables I've played at. Like, never been a big fan of it. That said, if I am going to be, plane hopping, going from plane to plane, this is the spell I'm going to use. There are other ones we've talked about that, like this is just a more expensive version of plane shift, more expensive and less reliable.
Eight is what we're talking about, right?
Probably. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
there's
this
also
because gate you can even like banish creatures there too. But this, like, I mean,
you just touch.
yeah,
So easy with this. You're gonna take this over create spell jamming helm?
yes. Because if I need a spell jamming helm, I'm gonna go buy it.
You'll make some other nerd pay for it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I'll pay for it.
I
I'll make them do the work.
I think this really is more of like plane shift isn't a spell in the way that it's something I'd expect a player character to ever get. Plane shift is a event as a DM I give to players when they're ready or I'm ready to go explore a grander scope.
Yes.
And I think what this basically is attempting to say is that D&D's upper tier looks more fantastical than high-end medieval fantasy, right? This
Mm-hmm.
involves going into the astral plane, going to fight mind flayers on Nautilus ships. It gets very alien, it gets a little sci-fi, it gets pretty funky pretty quickly. And if it doesn't get funky with sci-fi stuff, it gets funky biblically. It gets funky like using big mythology stuff. You're going to the
Right.
realms of gods. You're going to the realms of not just deities, but devils and demons and archdukes of the varying levels of hell, right? This can be a quest into Avernus kind of effect. This can be the party is elevated from mercenary SWAT team on the material plane taking out villains to extra planar deity hit squad, where your job is to go and hit high priority targets that are trying to end the universe. That is sort of where I think this escalates play towards. And my God, does it suck to be someone with no magic in that realm, let me tell you. So full casters definitely shine in that space, and the non-casters, like barbarians, are like, I still get angry just as well in space as I did on Earth. Okay, let's do this thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't think it's a spell that you should ever need to take, and I don't think it's a spell that is even that helpful to like seek out and try and find uses for, because it just normally, if the DM doesn't give this to you, it's majorly derailing whatever's going on, right?
Right.
I
That's
think this would be better as rules than as a spell. Like it would be better in the DMG to have like this is how plane travel works
mhm.
than have it waste space in the player's handbook for most people that will never come close to this.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is, I feel like too much responsibility to put in the player's hands. Because, yeah, like I said, I've never played that high level where it would. Yeah, I like what you're saying now. Yeah, I'm not big on the sci-fi stuff, but I like the biblical stuff, going to the realms of gods, realms of demons. This is something I could see. All right, this is going to be a satisfying conclusion to what my character's story has been building up to. This is the end of a campaign worthy stuff. Okay, I'm there.
Yeah,
I
this
haven't
is
gotten there personally yet, but yeah, someday maybe I will, and that's fine. But I don't ever think that should be up to me as a
no.
player.
This is I definitely think this is the spell that starts the last arc, right? This is the
Yeah,
spell that goes, we've prepared all this time, we fought the cultists worshiping this deep elder god. Now it's time to take the fight to it. Now it's time to, it's gonna keep tormenting our plane in 1,000 years. We have to be the ones that put it in the ground for good. We're plane shifted the last 5 levels of this game. We're leveling up away from home. We're going to be fish out of water once again and have to deal with some crazy, wacky hijinks in a different realm of existence. And
actually,
again, that
I'm
just
gonna
doesn't.
I'm
But
gonna take that back. All right, if it's a given that we are going to be doing extraplanar things, then and the DM is prepared for that, and is all right. They're getting seventh level spells pretty soon. I'm going to start introducing some
orcs.
extraplanar realities. Then yeah, then it can be up to the players when they're going to do that.
I, so I this is a larger D&D topic to talk about, and it is player agency and like how much, like what's the actual reality of sandbox games? What's the actual reality of player choice? I
Mm,
don't, as a DM, I don't put much weight in my players making their own decisions because historically players don't make their own decisions. I have found players will do the cool threads that I lead them towards in one way, shape, or form, right?
Yeah.
People aren't going to ask you to improv adventures, which then makes me wonder in the hand, like if I'm a player and I see like, okay, there are elementals coming into this world, there's, celestials and demons. I don't know if I'm like the DM has a plot that you're going through. The DM has plans, is dropping hints, is telling you where you can go next, where the adventure continues. If you're getting a fork to go to the abyss, that's still kind of the DM handing you the keys to it. And even if you're not the one that picks a plane shift to follow up, they'll have to get you a way to get there if that's their plan anyway, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it depends on how flexible the DM is. Yeah, they don't have to go to the abyss, but I'm prepared if they want to. Like,
I Why would you want to go to the abyss is my question, unless the DM
I
gave you a
personally
reason,
don't.
right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like I think a lot of the time it's going to be the DM has a reason and plan for it. That's the
Yeah,
reason your character wants to go. That's the reason the party wants to go, is because there's a conflict that's been sown there that you've got an inclination to go deal with. I have a hard time envisioning the group that goes, "All right, team, we've sealed Team 6 our way through the first 20 or 15 levels of this game. Now that we hit level 16, all of a sudden I have a hankering for the plane of Earth." Like, I don't really see that coming down unless the DM already prepped for it. Again, if the DM already prepped for it, I don't really see this being a player tool still. But
all
again,
right,
that might just be a difference of
let
opinion
me
and
ask
thought.
you this: the abyss, is that like purgatory or something? Are
It's
there
a version of
souls of
hell, functionally. It's where all the
are there
demons live.
are there souls of the dead there?
That's a really complicated question that I sure am not going to begin to dissect the answer to because I don't know it that well.
Just say maybe they need to go dig up a long lost NPC and they don't know where his body is. But
So they're just going to start scouring through the abyss.
yeah,
Maybe.
ask some questions. You know, find a damned soul. And have you seen Mitch?
It just squeals at you and tries to rip your throat out. Yeah. I
Yeah,
I
I'm just thinking there might be reasons.
I'm not convinced.
No,
For
that
all
wasn't going to convince anyone.
That's true. For all these reasons, I think this is going to get a. I'm going to give the spell a 3 because I do think the mechanics are novel and do serve a purpose. I think that purpose could have been more clearly pushed elsewhere in the game. That would have allowed more tables to sculpt and experience the way they'd want. I think this kind of forces everything to be the big extraplanar multiverse stuff. Like it kind of pushes everything to be grand cosmology more than it needs to be for a game that fundamentally is about building your own world, which I find is a disservice to it. It's not the end of the world. I think the planar stuff is very fun. Having dabbled in it myself, I would recommend campaigns that get into the upper tiers play in other realms. It's a really refreshing thing as a DM to go, well, we've done the desert, we've done the Arctic, we've done the ocean, we've done forest, we've done medieval. Now what? And the answer is Realm of Fire. The answer is Mount Celestia. The answer is, what's the Olympus with the gods and stuff like that. You just
Yeah.
go to even more fantastical places, and planar travel sort of lets that happen in a pretty organic feeling fashion.
Um. Yes, that's neat. I don't necessarily think you need that for like more fantastical things. Like
You certainly
you
don't.
got like you got like floating islands and crap. You got all kind of things you can do that are realistically impossible. But
Yeah, you're in a world of fantasy. You can do whatever the hell you want.
yes, yeah, I'm going to agree with your three just because there are some things I think this spell does better than other planar travel kind of things. And on the other side, I just not a huge fan of planar travel, and especially don't like it in the specifically in the hands of the players.
I
So
will also quickly mention, because we haven't touched on it in a while, the floor on this is a touch range instantaneous death button, right? Like you could go for a high risk, I go touch the demon, and then if I hit it, it's gone. If it fails a single charisma save, there is genuine power to that, right? Like there is genuine
yeah,
power if your saber dies. So
if it's even if it's not likely, it's a nice Hail Mary to have in your pocket.
yeah, just to be like, nothing else will work here. Please go away.
Yes. Uh, all right. Well, that was Plane Shift. If people are going to have some opinions on that, yeah, let us hear them down in the comments. Thank you for watching, and thank you, Sam, for joining me here. Everybody like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.